this is Dave with the Shepherd School, and today what we're going to do is we're going to look at magazine wear. Okay, magazines are probably the weakest link in your gun reliability formula, right? Magazine lips wear, springs wear, and if you're not careful, you can have a lot of firearm malfunctions based upon your magazines going bad. And so we're just going to show you, with the aid of a set of calipers and some rounds and a couple Glock magazines, that the Glock magazine does flex over time. And you could do this with your 1911, your expensive custom magazines, your cheap magazines. The only difference is how much and how long before you have a failure. So we're just going to show you this so you realize that you do need to rotate your magazines out over time, and change your springs every once in a while. But I'll tell you, a lot of folks, and myself also in the past, used to have to rotate out my magazines. I have this white dot fingernail polish on, 6 magazines, and I've got a red fingernail polish dot on the forward plate of another 6 magazines, and twice a month or so, take all the rounds out of my working set and put in my other set. It's because I felt like the spring might compress over time. However, after talking to some experts, from Glock Armor School and those sorts of folks, they said that what kills springs is the repeated working of them, getting big, getting little, getting big, getting little, getting big, getting little. If you keep them compressed all the time, it's actually less wear, or keeping them uncompressed all the time. But, that constant compression and decompression actually is what wears the spring out. And so you might want to consider changing your springs out in your magazines, or, it might be more cost effective just to replace your magazines, every 5 years or so. So anyway, let me get the mags and we'll show you. Alright, first off, to the machinist, let me just go ahead and apologize. This is one of those $9 Harbor Freight micrometers, and so, don't beat me up if my measurements and my vernacular is a little off. Okay, so here's just a fully loaded Glock magazine, just regular full metal jacketed rounds. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and I take the micrometer and I bring it down to the widest end. Okay, let me tighten it down a little bit so don't move. Okay, now as I slide this, see there at the end, see my finger sticking through there? It catches because the magazine is a little wider, about 1/3 of the way from the top. Okay, and it is a little under 1/8 of an inch shy of 1 inch. Okay, take the rounds out of the gun, take that same micrometer, and I'm getting space, a lot more space. It's not catching anymore. Okay, you can see air between the body of the magazine and the end of the micrometer all the way down. So if I loosen it up and tighten it back, it's about 1/16 of an inch smaller than it was fully loaded. Okay, it won't even go. I've got to force it back down and it spread it back apart. Okay, so we're only talking fractions of an inch, fractions of a millimeter if you're European. But there is some play. As these rounds go in, remember the spring is pushing these rounds up, but because of the feed lips they can't go anywhere, and so it's pressing them together, and the only thing you can do is because of the rounds pushing against each other, they slip off. And as they slip off, it's pushing the sides of the magazine out. Okay, so every time you load your magazine, you're flexing the body of your magazine. Okay, now obviously with the plastic mag, it's going to be more apparent, but this is the same on steel mags too. Okay, so take my advice, put in the back of your mind to rotate out your magazines, especially if you use them a lot, especially if your life depends on them. Okay, so there we go, my 2 cents. And until next time, you can always catch us online, www.tngun.com.